broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yes. We are here.
In mid-song.
Love it. All those things.
Good
Hi,
job.
welcome to AFTERBUZZTV.com. I'm Steve Kaufmann, and this is the Louie After Show, Season 5, Episode 2, The Road, Part 2. To my left.
What is that? That is what it is.
I didn't know where I was going there. To my left, I'm joined, as always.
Yes, I am Blake V, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Blake V Media.
And I am Monis Rose, the editor-in-chief of restaurantfiction.com, also on Twitter at restfiction. Please check that out.
He is Monis Rose, and I am Jared Gilkerson. You can find me at Gilkerson Radio on Twitter. Glad to have you.
And I just want to say, before we start, it's a pleasure to see you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
I always forget about your cheers.
No, I love
know,
the cheers.
I like it.
What? Yeah, I love
Is
the
it still
cheers.
tequila?
Cheers, guys. And I missed out
Always.
last week.
I know.
But I'm here
Welcome
today.
back.
I'm back
we
this
missed
week.
you. I missed you.
I missed
He
you.
missed
She
has
you.
two
Steve
beverages.
missed you.
Well,
Yeah, double fisting.
You know, because why not?
Yeah, when in Rome.
Well,
Today's
you were
calling
gone
for
because
it.
of something Monis said 2 weeks ago that
I
we
know.
can't even mention.
But
I
we're
was
friends
offended.
again. But we're friends again.
pulled through.
Yeah, we
All right.
did. We're
If you're
tough.
listening to our
TUFF
voices
tough.
on
Oh, yeah.
iTunes, please like, share, subscribe.
I like
5 stars is what we like. If you're watching us live on YouTube, I'll be dropping in the chat shortly to answer some questions if you have any.
Please.
And if you have any questions at any point, anything you want to say about Louie, the hashtag is ABTVLouie.
Please.
And let's get into it. It could be 3 months from when I'm recording this right now. Be sure to tweet at all of us. Hashtag ABTVLouie.
We will be there.
All
We will
those
be there.
important things.
You should do
care.
it.
Speaking of being there, week
We
transition.
were there tonight for the
Or
episode.
week transition. Louie, again, on an airplane, gets hit with the tray in the aisle seat.
Which immediately, it's going to be a downward spiral from there.
And he lands in Oklahoma City.
But the flight attendant actually did say
I
she was
noticed
sorry
that.
this time. So she
Last
was a
week it
little bit
wasn't-
empathetic.
Because
Oh, yeah,
last
what'd
week
she
it was
say
just,
last time?
wake up, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was a really
That's
rude.
always a harsh awakening.
Yeah.
Napping on the plane and then getting...
Does that happen to you a lot?
Fortunately, no.
No.
But, you know, when I see it happen to others, I feel for
Yeah.
them. I got the soft
have you
spot
you've seen
for
the flight
that.
attendant knock into people?
Okay. I feel like I've never seen it in real life. I feel like I've seen it portrayed in TV and films numerous
that way,
times.
too.
But I feel like I've never actually seen it happen.
It doesn't strike me as a
I
thing.
think I've been
Right?
hit. I've been hit, but not as violently.
Okay, that's good.
You know, just because I like a good aisle seat. I'm not a window guy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think I've been like rolled over by like a wheel or something. You know, that's fine though.
Oh,
Window all day.
okay.
Yeah.
Window all
I
day.
get up too often.
Me too.
I like to stand.
Fair
so
enough.
Yep.
I don't want
It
to bother.
depends
anyone.
on... I guess it depends on the flight length.
Let's talk about.
Let's talk about our
flights.
Let's talk about our
Personal flights
preferences.
I've taken, yeah.
Let's-
In personal flights.
go there.
Louie
Oh,
lands in Oklahoma.
I've never taken a flight to Oklahoma.
I've not flown
I've never
over.
taken a
City.
flight to Oklahoma City. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, Steve, I apologize. But I mean, I don't really, after this episode, I don't plan on taking a flight to Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Yeah.
Odds are likely someone listening to us
Is offended.
is in Oklahoma
I just
City
dropped a
right
bomb.
now.
I know Louie just ruined Oklahoma City for Monis.
You think they're
sadly.
angry about it? Was that like
Sadly.
I don't think it was a personal shot in the city.
No, not at all. But
Maybe. I kind of.
I think he took a lot of other personal shots,
Right, it's a
especially
fine
at like
line.
young people.
I like it.
Because
Even
the
if it
club,
was a shot, it's
the
nice.
club owner's
Right.
daughter
It's
picks him
entertaining.
up at the airport and drives him from the airport, and like this whole look of not even just hardly
so
looking,
concentrated on the
just
phone.
hardly looking at the road.
But you know what the thing I was thinking of is that's like he shoots everything, you know, at a real town, real places. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like so it looked like they were actually on like a live road, and they were like, and so she was actually driving.
Not a
vehicle.
chance they would do that.
I hope so.
But there's not a chance they would
Yeah.
do that because anytime they shoot anything like that,
Yeah.
they put the car on a flatbed and then they set up a camera around
Yeah,
that
no,
flatbed.
I wish. You're
Sorry to
ruining-
ruin the
you're
magic,
ruining- no.
guys.
But
Sorry.
But honestly, that was a good point. That once again, it's Louis and a younger girl. This time, maybe 20, very early 20s, 18-ish. But this woman in the car, really, you could already tell this woman on her cell phone, really not paying attention to the road, not doing anything to further herself. Where, say, in a previous episode, we saw Louis' daughter, much younger, actually educate herself using the cell phone. I mean, almost the dichotomy and the juxtaposition of even...
Two big words. Sorry.
Dude goes hard.
It's the juggle juice. It's the juggle juice. Oh, yeah.
It's the vocab juice, if you will.
Yes. I know. Just wait. My syntax and diction are going to go off the chain.
We're waiting.
We're already there. They're already off the chain.
But anyway...
No, but that's true. I'm with you. Yeah,
Move
it's
on.
two
Yeah.
times that he was able to take that opportunity and highlight kind of the relationship between his generation, a younger generation. Interesting, though, the outcome of both. Because you're right. Previously with his daughter, she had her comeback ready and justified her actions, and this girl could care less.
Yeah. Although
was really
this
all it
girl
was.
got him there safely. So her argument would be similar to his daughter's, which is whatever.
I like the comparison between her and I'll just call him Buzz from last week. So Louis switched places almost. Not really. He was almost forced to talk to her because she was not paying attention to the road. But I almost think it's because it's a younger, good-looking woman. He's like, it automatically changes your attitude. Like, oh, I'm getting picked up by a young, good-looking woman, and she's like, oh, sickies, and he's asking questions. If it was the driver from last week, like, oh, the sickies, he just wouldn't have paid attention.
Totally.
Just
Or
would've
even
been
from the
nothing.
very moment that you saw that she was the one picking him up in the airport, and you automatically saw it was a young girl. Like, you obviously thought, oh, that's unusual. She's so young, and clearly he's going to think she's attractive and whatever. It's a totally different dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Very brilliant.
Settled.
Settled.
Settled. She's attractive
Settled.
and quiet.
Attractive,
And always
quiet.
in an angry mood.
She puts your life in danger. I'm sorry. Not going to talk
Well,
to
no,
her.
you heard Steven. It's up on a platform, so I'm kidding.
I not in
real
not
life.
in the reality
I'm
of
kidding.
Not in the reality we've been presented.
Yeah, I know.
They go to this they go to the condo. It must be a 2-bedroom condo, although I haven't seen a second bedroom.
With one bathroom.
One bathroom. That's not uncommon, right?
No, that's fine.
2
Not
bedroom and one
uncommon,
bath.
but uncomfortable.
You know,
Yeah.
Just saying.
some of us live that way. Anyway. And then
We're going there.
it's 11 a.m.
In the bathroom.
It's 11 a.m. She introduces him to Kenny. Kenny's the featured act, the opening act, if you will. And the second she closes the door, he's just like, you want some booze? I got some Jack here. He's like, it's 11 a.m. I have kids. He's like, whatever. And then he just gets into his room and he shuts off.
Oh, you forgot the the nice stroking sign that he gave him as he went to
Well,
his
yes,
bedroom.
and what he said to the daughter as well.
Right, the girl.
From the get-go, we know from the get-go who this Kenny is.
He's a road comic.
Oh, they didn't bleep it. Let's realize that.
You can say the A word.
He said F.
Did he say F? I don't think he
No.
said
I
F.
thought he did.
If he did, it's because
No.
they're
I
playing.
think he said the words like
Maybe I was
stick it.
just hoping.
I don't think he said F.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
he
but
said
if
other
he,
things.
if he
Stick it
did, it's
or
because they've cleared
push
this
it.
whole hour and a half because
Yeah.
they're doing Louis C.K. live from the Comedy Store.
yeah.
They're just playing that uncensored immediately after this episode, like right as we're speaking.
You were just so offended, you just imagined
Not
it.
at all.
And you just went, oh my God, I can't
love-
believe I just experienced that.
I like Jim Florentine. He's a good comic, and actually Louis wrote this role specifically for him. And then he went in and he's like, yeah, I'll do this for sure. Like I heard him tell the story on Opie and Jimmy, and he was excited. He's like, heck yeah, I get to be on the last episode. But I guess he wrote the whole episode for him, which is kind of cool for a comic. You know, they've known each other for years.
Yeah.
It's really
To
cool.
highlight him
hey,
in that
I'm
way.
gonna write this whole thing for you.
Excellent.
So it was great. It was great. Yeah, total pig. Like just you know what I mean? And he plays that so well.
Like
It's-
such
gets
a
it.
D-bag.
yeah,
Totally.
exactly. Yeah. Kenny
a
D-bag.
D-bag.
Kenny D-bag.
I think we can. Nah.
Nah,
Then
whatever.
wouldn't that be derogatory? That's a thing.
What's that?
Technically, it is a thing.
Would it be?
Everything's derogatory in this society nowadays.
I
so,
don't know anymore.
Yeah.
But at least,
we're fine.
you know, the Kenny,
Yes,
you,
Monis?
you know who he is from the get-go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to change, and whether you appreciate him and his style of comedy, I mean, that's who he is even as a person.
Right. He lays it all out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty clear who he is, who he isn't.
And of all the people who likes to take it, it's that teenage girl. I mean, I'm just saying, she's
Nah,
not...
She just wasn't
just like that.
rattled.
No,
no matter what, like whether she was technically taking it or not, she just whatever.
I don't
like,
even think
I
she
didn't
was
even hear
there.
what you
She
said.
wasn't even present.
No.
Yeah.
No, not present at all.
I think she's an extension of how Louis sees a lot of people that age currently, that they don't feel like none of that scene in the hospital later where it's just somebody to Louis, somebody under the age of 25 just can't possibly be present.
Right,
Yeah.
just completely vacant.
Just they're this completely vacant, everything's been given to them. They don't understand the world around them. Like that's how he seems to present young people in his show.
You know, and also I just want to bring in really quick that this young girl, she calls, she says sickies as a term,
Yes.
a derogatory term. And, you know, very recently, Louis was on Saturday Night Live, and he was just talking about, you know, racism in America. And this is maybe an extension of that. I mean, with his humor of how he feels, and maybe even young people, I don't know, going about that some people, and maybe even himself in this meta world, are like so oblivious to this undercurrent of racism.
I'd love to hear from if we have some Oklahoma fans, if that's a real term in the era.
Yeah.
Because I'm
I
sure
wouldn't
he's
be
traveled
surprised,
the whole
yeah.
nation.
Right.
So I'm sure like it's an authentic term, but I've never heard it.
I don't know if
I've
it's
never heard
but I'd
it
love
either.
to hear if it's legit.
Or was it just a Louisism, and that was his way of kind of making up
like
some
the Jizzy
derogatory slur?
buns.
Yeah,
Oh
like
wait, you didn't
You
see from
know?
sorry. I love you're just agreeing.
The what?
Yes, Jizzy bun. That was a joke in one of
course.
the episode last week that
dare you,
where you weren't here. No.
But see, you know, he is,
Yeah.
you know, very transparent in his efforts to do exactly
Yeah.
that, create a, you know, his own kind of
Yeah, that's
alternative
probably
vernacular to what is happening. Could very
I
well
could
be
see
that.
it both ways.
Yeah.
Like he could have heard something similar and just made this term up
Yeah.
for him, or he could have heard that in not necessarily Oklahoma City, but he could have heard that in our town.
Sure.
And when that's derogatory, that's just such a weird derogatory thing that I'm gonna
It was a
pluck
strange,
it.
a strange name.
I'm just gonna take it and run with it.
I could see both ways.
Oh, are you now?
Kids, follow my lead.
All right.
We care.
They go to the club. And Kenny is, and I said this like in my mind before Louis did. It was like, wow, this is just like a hacky comedian.
Yeah.
And like, whatever, maybe these people are here to see Louis. And then Louis comes up, and he starts with the white people math bit,
Yeah.
which we were all dying, but the people in Oklahoma City were just like,
Not
"Eh."
receiving it well.
Well, it was a perfect commercial cut.
And then the commercial cut was so good.
Yeah, Steven's sitting next to me, and he's just like, that you cut it? And then it's like, oh,
really how he did
all
it?
right. And then like, all right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, I
But
thought
it
it
was
was
great.
perfect.
That's a perfect way to represent like how he felt probably in his head.
Yep.
Like,
Oh,
okay,
cut
just
off.
all right, we're done with this joke.
Well, and he was using jokes. Like, I'm pretty sure he's used that joke at some point in an interstitial in his show already.
Sure.
And if not,
And it was
like,
not received
if not,
well.
Yeah.
And if not, it's a very like I know that joke from his stand up that it's the idea of like, and then he got on stage and did the stuff he does,
Yeah.
and like that wasn't even important. That
No,
wasn't
no.
even important to this episode. Where it's like, oh, we'll just cut here.
Yeah.
No, we've already mentioned, you gentlemen already mentioned that, you know, this is almost like,
Gentlemen.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you called us that.
Oh, absolutely. That's
I
my
love that.
view.
He's such
Blake
a
have anything to
he is a-
say?
he is a
Mad
gentleman.
respect here, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm fine. I think he was actually referring to
No, he
both
was.
of you.
No, I was saying I just
probably
love
didn't
that he.
say it.
You'll be lady later.
Yes, I
Yeah.
will. I'm sure I will.
As long as you
Thanks,
don't do ma'am.
Monis.
Apparently,
Absolutely,
women do
Blake,
not
yes.
like it. Women
Yeah.
do not like it when you call them ma'am.
Man, you're right.
Ma'am, it's
Unfortunately,
not.
ma'am.
Anyway.
yeah.
You don't like
no,
ma'am?
Of all, I mean, we've already stated that like this, these strings of episodes are like Louis when he was younger. I mean, he's visualizing, even though Louis is present day, this is maybe what he has gone through at some point in his life. Do you feel he still goes through stuff like this?
Probably on a minute scale, because I know he still travels the road, but it's not like he used to, you know, where you're gone 4 or 5 days a week. Right. You come back and you're splitting a condo with another guy. He's obviously above that, but he's not too far removed from that because he's only gotten big over the past, 6-7 years. So just before that, he was doing that. He was hitting the road like that, and with some of these guys that are in the show with him, and it's I think he's not far removed from it, and he might do it on a smaller scale.
No, I totally agree. And I think that's the thing, too, is he's clearly pulling from experience.
Yeah.
And even all of the bizarre things that happen to him every single episode, I feel like they really do. I feel like half the things happen to me in real life. Just
Yeah.
saying. So it's very believable.
Yeah.
There's a saying I just happen to know. I can't remember. I can't attribute it to anyone, but it's like the most unrealistic things in your life, people will believe. It's the mundane that people will call you out and be like, you lied. It's like, really? The mundane? But it's the mundane things in your life are the things that people will tell you you're lying.
Sure.
Speaking of mundane, what did you guys think of the flea market? Because this flea market, just for some entertainment when it gets for a walk.
I love me a good flea market. Can I just come out and say that?
Oh, right.
Like,
Right,
I love being...
started out strong.
We know where you're going to be
I'd be
this
more
weekend.
of a farmer's market guy, just because of the free sampling.
I mean, who doesn't love
that's
a
free
good
breakfast?
Very delicious.
But like a flea market where you can come in and see people's stuff and then like haggle with them over like
That
an
was
NES.
a little sad though.
Like a Super NES
Sad
cartridge.
Because the rain, it
selection.
had to be raining.
Like small.
I did love seeing the Wendy's in the background. I'm just
Yes.
You made a
Jared's
note.
highlight.
This was your first
first
note.
big note of the
I know.
episode.
The Wendy's.
Well, because
Awesome
you
plug.
hit the flea market.
You didn't say even Frosties or spicy chicken. Come on now.
I come from the home of Wendy's. We know this.
You hit the flea
Their
market and
chili
then
is
you hit
very
the
good.
Wendy's after. That's
That's your day.
Yes.
that sounds like an amazing day.
Dave Thomas, rest in peace.
Isn't it? Yes. That's like, I love it. That's great. I love how he looked. I love how because we're talking about him in the flea market and the tents and all that stuff. I love how in his head he's kind of a fat old guy.
Yeah.
But like a fat old man in a Civil War general's outfit is like
Dashing.
a dashing man, and he was like in this fantasy for like 90 seconds. It was
Yeah.
great.
Which is
Oh, that
hilarious.
90-second
I loved
fantasy
it.
was so good.
Yeah.
And even I was tricked a little bit. He comes out, I'm like, like he seems presentable. No, he's like he could court a young lady.
I feel like he trimmed his beard a little
You think?
in between those takes.
It looked
Like,
pretty sharp.
Probably.
but
he was
who
very
knows?
put together.
He may not
Combed
have.
it. Yeah, combed his beard.
Situation.
I don't know, Steven. You
Just
would have
so.
more knowledge about beards and how they look from scene to scene.
Yes, I feel like he trimmed his beard.
Okay, good.
I
Then that's it.
think I exhausted
That's
I
allegedly.
stand on that.
I exhausted my expertise on this subject
Yeah, no.
already.
And Louis always seems like the guy who's super anti, like, I'm not going to do that. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that. And then in this little moment, he had his opportunity to shine and be
Yeah.
a gentleman. And he's like kissing hands and dancing and
You
even
think he
dancing
was
with the photographer.
Do you think he actually that's all this?
It was like a fantasy.
That's like a fantasy dream.
I think
No,
so.
I think
think
I think that actually happened.
You think he danced?
and the
with-
dancing?
Yeah,
and
You
the,
think he
all of
danced
it?
with
I think
the
that
guy
actually-
who
And the
was running
photographer?
it?
Honestly, I concur. I actually walked out one morning, a random morning in San Pedro, and I walked out in a Civil War reenactment in San Pedro. So
Did you
stuff
dance
like
with a man though? I mean, that's the question.
Is that the one thing where Nick?
guys, I didn't know you were gonna put me on the hot seat like this. Come on now.
He's like, I was trying to keep that one. No, I really thought it was a fantasy. I
thought
for
so,
me, I thought really it started with the whole language, like him playing the game
Yeah.
and kind of just, oh, my lady, or whatever he said. I was like, oh, this is not, I don't think this
Yeah,
is really
this is really
happening.
happening.
Yeah, like it was tough to convince him to even just be in the photo, let alone like play the part
Yeah.
and get all into it.
I think that happened.
Oh,
I think.
I
just-
hope it really did though.
It would be lovely
Yeah.
if
Well,
it did.
I really wanted him to like get that girl's number. I was
thought
really
he was
mad.
going to.
I thought for sure that's
That's what he was thinking for a split second.
Where
Like,
it was
oh,
just-
what a nice woman, and then she's just gone forever.
Yeah.
Never see her again.
pretty much.
She'll be on his fridge
But
for
you
his whole
know,
life.
this walk though was beneficial for him because it took him out of the, crappy, club with the Goomba-esque club owner and
Oh, we were talking
his
about him.
roommate. I mean, this took him out because people were like, oh, you're going to go for a walk in Oklahoma City? Well, actually, he found some joy in going to this walk before he had to come back to the club and his roommate.
And that's all relative because, do you want to go on a walk and pose for Civil War pictures with some lovely people?
Always.
Or do you want to hang out in a condo with possibly two, maybe hookers? I don't know. Maybe.
Hey. Stacy and Karen.
Whoever
They're
their
called
names are.
Band-Aids, Jared.
So
Bad
that's what I
Aids,
like.
yeah.
What was that term?
From Almost Famous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They are
I
not
haven't seen it
groupies.
forever.
They are Band-Aids.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
your
a couple of
okay.
Band-Aids. That's all your term of who had a more lovely afternoon. I don't know. It's a pick 'em, I guess.
Right. To each his own.
I'd like to hear from the
Culture
fans,
versus,
honestly. Like, what afternoon would you rather have?
Who had the better day?
Who had the better afternoon? I don't know. Cheerios and whiskey and Band-Aids, or a flea market with Civil War costumes.
I feel like you could do both.
Oh.
Well, you could, but they didn't.
They didn't, but I'm saying
But the point here is to choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to vote one way or the other.
So he goes back after the walk, and he has another. He doesn't really have almost an equally bad time at the club.
Oh yeah, because Kenny, hacky comedian, it's about to light his farts on fire.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is almost like throwing Louis over the top. He just can't believe it that he's even in the same room with this guy.
Also, this club owner wants him to not curse and wear a suit.
That's what I really like, because you hear comedians always talking about these horrible club owners, and they're asking you to meet weird demands, or the way you dress, or how long you go on, or who's before you, or so I love hearing these little stories, and then you get to see this guy play this stereotype, and it's perfect because a lot of club owners are like that. It's just ridiculous.
I thought it was funny, though. He made such a deal about what Louis had to wear, but the opener, Kenny, was just wearing like a regular shirt, nothing, and so...
Because he's the opener.
Well, because he was saying
so
the
it doesn't
headline...
matter?
Apparently, he was like, oh, my headliner has to wear a jacket.
I love how bad he looked, too, after that last set that we were just getting to. Like, how he was, like, drenched in sweat. Louis was just having the roughest night. And that,
because all Louis' material probably doesn't play well in... at least that room in Oklahoma City, where it's where people are just looking to have a good time.
And they really, especially stressed in this episode, and when they bring it back, the club scene is over and Louis and Kenny are in the apartment. I mean, they really made it known that Louis is this New York comedian. Maybe even some people in the Midwest, even the Bible Belt area, think of even a New York comedian as an elitist in some way, like some Americans think of like a French person. I mean, this elitist, though, they have this some kind of... Seriously,
no,
you stupid American.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I try.
That's good.
You didn't tell us you were French, Monis.
Oh, I know.
But speaking of Kenny, I think we're just going to talk about Kenny a little more.
I'd love to.
A little more in depth. 11 a.m. drinking Jack Daniels. He has 3 kids, 2 of whom are in college. And
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
What, kids?
But he
There's
seems
a lot
to
wrong
be,
with that.
He seems to be okay in his choices. But Louis, what happens is Kenny got more time and Louis got less time.
Yeah.
Because the energy Louis was bringing just wasn't right.
And
for
the
the
parody
room.
of him, yeah.
Yeah, and then Kenny comes out, does a parody of him. And the parody was actually pretty funny for that room.
Yeah.
Like, and it played well in that room, and it should have. And then the next morning, with the orange paint still on his face,
Cheerios,
while eating Cheerios, he was like, "Did you get offended?" And he was like, "I mean, yeah, but like, no, whatever." And then Kenny kind of tells Louis, "You're like a bummer."
Yeah, I love how you can see, because that was that moment of, instead of Louis just ripping on the other side, obviously he's a hack comedian. But then they both brought up really good points. Like, you're a hack, and I hate being in the same profession as you. And the other guy's like, dude, I'm in this to have fun. Comedy's fun. We go out, the people go home, they make love, and that's it, and that's their day. So it's a bar trick. So that's...
I know. Did we expect them to have such a heart-to-heart?
Not really.
And like come to such an understanding?
Well, because I enjoyed that scene so much, and I do long-form improv, and then that's pretty much everything that isn't Groundlings, because Groundlings, or Whose Line Is It Anyway, would be considered short form. And that's long been said about short form improv. It's like, short form improv is more of a bar trick, where it's like, hey, give me these 4 things and I will find a connection about it so quickly it'll make you laugh.
Yeah.
So I kind of really relate to the idea of like a hacky comedian's idea of comedy is a bar trick.
But then both of these comedians in the same room, they find a common ground, and it is all comedy. What we have learned all comes down to the fart joke. To the fart.
I think Monis should run for office. I know that we're getting close on time and everything. I don't want to go off track, but you would be great. Like, your voice goes up and pound.
That's
and
right.
we're in.
Yeah.
I will put in my bid for the
fart
2016 presidential nomination.
What was the line that Florentine had where it seemed like it was completely improv, where he just added to it? It was something to do with the farts, and he was
He
like,
said, "They're my babies.
Oh, yeah,
they are my fart babies."
There was such a huge lull, and he wasn't saying anything. My fart babies, and I'm like, oh my, he just busted everyone out.
Nobody writes that down.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Fart babies.
Yeah,
Everyone has their
I'd
fart
like to see the
babies.
script.
That's right.
But they have this heart-to-heart, and they decide, Kenny decides, we're going to finish this bottle of Jack Daniels by ourselves. To which, and there's a bit Louis did about like why Mad Men specifically. It was like, why don't we ever see that scene in Mad Men where it's 2:00 in the afternoon and they can't get up and do anything because they've been drinking whiskey straight for all morning, and then we get that jump cut where he's just puking in the toilet because he was drinking whiskey all morning. And I think that's what you're supposed to do. If your body doesn't do that, that means you drink too much whiskey in the morning.
Right. Well, and I'm sure it doesn't help him. He's not used to drinking probably that much that early, so he was just...
And maybe he didn't have any of the pizza because they obviously ordered food.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering...
Well, it was breakfast time. It looked like he didn't have any breakfast.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But then... Kenny without any morals doesn't even bother. He does something that
you've never heard of before.
I've never heard of.
What?
I never heard of that.
I think that was like common knowledge.
No,
yeah, I
what?
thought so too.
Did you ever?
I didn't know.
I hope
I
you
never
didn't.
did.
And I'm glad Monis didn't know.
I'm aware of an upper
Thank
decker.
you.
I was not aware.
I'm aware.
I did.
Kenny does something so bizarre. I could not comprehend.
scarred
I was
for life
scarred
with
for what he
this.
was about to do. He was about to take a dump over Louis' head in not the toilet, but
The tank.
the tank. The tank.
Yeah.
And everything goes awry. He falls and cracks his head.
Yeah.
Well, he falls, and we're like, "Oh, he fell. That's just funny."
Yeah.
And like I remember laughing, obviously, but then like laughing because his pants are down, and I was like, "Oh, we're back to poop and farts," and like we're back to his point of like, "This is funny," until just a huge gash in his head was opened, and he was bleeding.
Yes, and just the pool of blood.
A pool of blood
forming.
bigger than the circle of his head below him, and then we cut to the hospital, and Kenny didn't make it.
That's great. I mean, it's just
I
great
love
that
it,
he
yeah.
died, and then he just goes
And it was
home.
so fast. And he just died. Oh, didn't make it.
Like went on a road trip, and
Right.
the other comedian died.
Yeah.
And I'm home.
And it is what it is. And it's like the last 30 seconds. And the bar owner was there and he goes, I'm never hiring you again. And done.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, all right, okay, I'm done.
But
And the daughter just being blind, and it was just great.
All of it.
This is great.
And he goes home to his daughter. I mean his daughters, but we only see one of his daughters in this scene. And I think this is really important because it shows even Louis maturing, that he found meaning in this kind of what he thought was his horrible trip. He actually found meaning. He found the good in the bad situation, that his daughter inquires about this picture, and Louis makes up this story, this very fun story of how his great granddad. But I think the real point was that what is the meaning? He could have just remained, oh, this was a horrible time. But he didn't. He by telling the story, he not just cheered his daughter up, he cheered himself up, that, hey, maybe going to Oklahoma City and experiencing all this was really fun, that this random, flea market happened for a reason, and that for me to even bring this awesome whimsical story back to my daughter to share from the road, I mean, it all kind of blended.
So positive, Monis.
Wow.
I
Drop the
know.
mic. Drop the mic.
For real.
Pick it
There's
up.
nothing to be said.
I think his daughter
Guys,
knew that
nothing
he
more.
was messing with her, and like she just plays along
course.
because she's too bright for this.
And the best is when
great.
he said, oh, he fired the last shot in the last battle of the Civil
And he
War.
missed.
And she's all...
And he missed, and that's
she's
why
like,
they all stopped.
mathematics?
Yeah,
He's like,
she
yeah,
knew.
that one.
Yeah, that one.
She knew. Of course she knew.
Yeah, I like
There
her.
was a
She's
snake
great
and then a
character.
separate snake, and his name was Black Bust.
Oh, that's right. I wrote that down.
Ox.
Black Bottom. Oh, is it Black Bottom what?
Okay, I didn't write
I
it
wrote down Black
very
Bottom.
Bottom
Pit,
Bottom
I
Pit.
thought. Bottom
I wrote
Bottom.
That's your
Bottom box.
third note.
You might be
Black
right. I just-
blush,
like,
black bottom.
I love it.
Bottom
Bush,
pit.
bottom.
blush, blush.
Let us know.
Guys, I just want to say that it has been a joy and an honor to sit
Wow.
next to all of y'all.
Yes.
Are we going around again?
Why not?
This
Let's
is our
do
final
it.
one, guys.
I
Let's
just
bring
say,
it around.
for season finale.
Season
The
bring it
season
around.
finale of Louie.
Yes.
Yes. And even though I wasn't here for the whole season, it was excellent the times I was. Thank you for having
It's
me.
quality,
Absolutely.
not quantity.
Thank you.
That's what it's about.
Thank you.
That's right.
If you guys are watching us now and you want to let us know how good a job we did talking to you about Louie,
Please.
where
Please,
can,
by all means,
Started-
Yes.
tell us how great a job we did.
started with Jared. Where can the
Yeah.
people find you?
at Gilkerson Radio. Sorry, I'm in that other show mood. not on the end.
Be in the here and now, my friend.
I'm here. At Gilkerson Radio on Twitter. That's it.
You can read about Salinger's, which was the popular restaurant featured in the show Party of Five on Restaurant Fiction. That is my website. Also on Twitter at Rest Fiction and on iTunes. Restaurant Fiction stands for restaurantfiction.com. Just check it out. I think you guys like it.
Definitely do that. And I am Blake V, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And I'm at Steve Kaufmann. You can find me there and only there. Also at Elimination Chamber this Sunday for all you wrestling fans.
Nice.
I'll be doing the after show. Hopefully I'll still be the predictions champion. Thank you guys so much for watching.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
It's kind of buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.